I really miss when Tamil cinema movies used to film in foreign locations for no particular reason. Sometimes the story didn't even warrant the characters to go to another city or country, but they would just shoot there because they had the budget to shoot there. So I wanted to do a list of some of the most memorable Tamil cinema movies to film in foreign locations. I'm not going to include films that were only shot in foreign locations for the music video, but I'm going to include films that were having a portion of the film in a foreign location or the majority of the film in a foreign location. So yeah, here are some of the most memorable movies in Tamil cinema history that were shot in foreign locations. And this one is a trailblazer for that technique, and it is Ninetale Enikum. It's a film directed by K. Balachandar. It starred Kamal, Rajini, Jayaprada, and it is a tourist guide to Singapore. If you want to see how Singapore was in the 70s, this is your film. Ayan is one of the few Tamil cinema movies in history that I feel has utilized their foreign locations so well to the plot of the film. Since the main protagonist in this movie is a smuggler and he deals with like worldwide goods in different locations, they actually shot in the different locations and made it a more worldly film. And it made it more believable that this guy was actually smuggling these things in different countries and different cities. So yeah, it's really cool how KV Anand utilized every location in this film towards the story and towards the believability of the smuggler's, deal. It's so tragic that this film wasn't as good as it should have been, but Dam Dum is such an aesthetic film. I loved the filming locations in this movie. The cinematography is amazing. And just the way that director Jiva and the rest of the directors that took over after he died from a cardiac arrest, I just love how all of them captured Russia in this film. And it's just a very aesthetically beautiful movie. Sadly, the story is kind of weak, but a very beautiful film in terms of utilizing the foreign location towards its story. Alright, so Taleva is not really an amazing film, to be honest, but it was really cool to see Australia. Australia is not really shown in Tamil cinema movies that often, so I think this was one of the most prominent usages of that country in a Tamil cinema movie outside of a film song sequence. And it gave the film's first half this kind of lighter feel, which I really liked. I felt like this movie was like two different movies in one. If it had focused on the gangster like storyline in Australia as well, I think I would have liked it a little bit better. But yeah, it was really nice to see Australia in this movie and a really good usage of that foreign location. Sadly, Vivekam's not a good movie, but the European locations were really cool. It gave the film a little bit of a positive. Even though the movie was not good at all, at least the positive was the visuals in this movie in those locations. And it gave it a little bit of a difference in comparison to usual commercial masala films. When I was a kid, I remember hearing stories on the radio that Kamal, Simran, and the whole team were like around Toronto filming Panchatandaram. It was really cool, and I really love this movie because whenever I watch it, it brings back all those memories of like all the people in the city like excited that this whole superstar cast was here filming a movie. And yeah, it's really cool to see Toronto back in the day because now if you're a Torontonian or if you're a person that lives around Toronto, if you go to downtown, it sadly does not look like the downtown that is shown in this film. So it's a good like time capsule in a way. All right, like Ninetale Enikum was kind of like a tourist guide to Singapore, Billa is almost like a tourist guide to Malaysia. This is the prototype film in terms of movies that were shot in Malaysia. Billa is super cool. It's still one of the coolest shot films in Tamil cinema history, in my personal opinion. And the way that they captured Malaysia in this movie made me want to go to Malaysia. And I think it made a lot of people want to go to Malaysia too. Thandavam is not an amazing film, but I like the way that they captured London in this movie. They utilized, the city very well towards the story, but sadly, the film was kind of like an average revenge thriller that just didn't work. If you want a prime example of a Tamil cinema movie that was elevated to another stratosphere because of the location that they were shot at, Engayam Kadal is a prime example. Prabhudeva captured Paris so beautifully in this movie, and it makes you fall in love with the city even more along with the love story that you see in this film. And pretty much this romantic story is a, run-of-the-mill, predictable love story, but because it was shot in Paris, it made you feel a lot more intertwined with the characters and the storyline of this film. Now, I love the second half of this movie. The first half is kind of too comic-y and too over the top for me. But yeah, that second half, the way that Prabhudeva captured not just Paris, but also Santorini in the music video for one of the music videos in this film. This is one of the best shot Tamil cinema movies in Europe in recent Tamil cinema history, in my personal opinion. All right, here we go with probably one of the most prominent Tamil cinema movie directors in Tamil cinema history that for some reason, during a huge segment of his career, wanted to film in foreign locations all the time. So it started with Vettayadu Vilayadu for Gautham Menon, and he shot obviously extensively in New York City for a majority of the film. And it was really, really well done for this movie. I really loved how he captured New York City. I loved how he incorporated it into this police investigative thriller. And yeah, it just made New York City glowy, especially in the Manjal Veil song. But yeah, I just loved how he captured the city. And when I went to the city after watching the film, it made it even more special in a way. But yeah, this is not the first time that Gautham Menon went to a foreign location. Here's the second film in Gautham Menon's career that he filmed in a foreign location. And the majority of the foreign locations that are shot in this film were in San Francisco. There is an Oklahoma City portion in this movie. I don't know if he actually shot it there. Maybe, I think it was green screen, to be honest, but majority of the American portions in this movie are in San Francisco. And I just love how he captures San Francisco in this movie as well. It really made the love story between Surya's character and Samira Reddy's character that much more interesting and that much more picturesque. And that bridge scene where she confesses her love back to Surya is one of my favorite love scenes in recent Tamil cinema history, just because of the way that he captured the Golden Gate Bridge behind them too. All right, here's another film that Gautham Menon utilized a foreign location for, Vinnai Thandi Varavaya. Obviously, he utilizes NYC again, and he just has a great eye for the city. I don't know why, but he's one of the few directors, not just in Tamil cinema history, but also, I think, in world history in general, that has been able to capture New York City in such a magical and beautiful way. Because when I went to Central Park, it was nothing like how it looked like in this film. I just hope he gets the budget to go to another, New York City based film, because I think he captures that city so beautifully well. And that's why I can't wait for Dhruva Natchathiram, because like in the trailer, all the locations shot in that trailer look so cool. Again, I hope that movie comes out in July. If it doesn't, I'll be super pissed. But yeah, this is sadly the last time that he extensively shot in a foreign location for a film. So until Dhruva Natchathiram, but yeah. Puvukul Olindirikum. That is the only two words you need to know about this film. Jeans utilized foreign locations so brilliantly. This is the blueprint in terms of Tamil cinema movies filming in a foreign location. I love this movie growing up. I love this movie till this day. It is cheesy. It is over the top. But in terms of Shankar movies utilizing a foreign location, Jeans is the best out of all of them. And in my personal opinion, I know he's done big budget movies like 2.0, Endiran and all, but this is probably the only big budget film that I've ever seen from Shankar where I thought every single dollar and rupee that is spent on this movie was utilized for a good, usage in terms of the visuals that you see on screen. Because all the locations that you see in this movie, and I'm going to name off some of the locations for you, like Disneyland, Florida, Venice Beach, Rome, Egypt, Paris, New York City, where else was it? The Great Wall of China. The fact that they went to all these locations, not just to shoot that one song, but to shoot most of the songs in this film, also the Grand Canyon too. And even like a portion of this film was just filmed in America. It just made the film so much more fun. It was like the ultimate tourist guide to people that, couldn't travel yet or weren't able to travel to these locations. It was the best way for you to see the world within a film. Films are supposed to transport you to another location or another destination. Jeans in that kind of like way was excellent. It transported you to so much different locations. So yeah, this is the blueprint in terms of Tamil cinema movies that were filmed in foreign locations.